Anyways, good evening. I got my coffee. Oh, yeah. And I got an email today um, from somebody who knows that I'm a photographer. Okay, now, I'm a commercial photographer. I'm a videographer too, but I'm a photographer. I make commercials. But way back in the day, well, anyways, this email asks, hey, what I had to do when I became a commercial photographer. And then it asked me about certain um, aspects of it, like they thought I just jumped out and started taking pictures for magazines or companies, and started. And no, it's not that way at all. Um, what I did back in the early '80s is I worked for a company that did fundraisers. Fortunately for me, these fundraisers were for Dornbecker's Children's Hospital and the Children's Miracle Network. And now, what they would do is they would schedule me to go to, um, to the Portland Trail Blazers, the Sacramento Kings, the Los Angeles Lakers, and they'd give me a couple players. And these people that had a lot of money, they would pay to have their pictures taken, their kids' pictures taken with the players. Now, when you do this kind of portraiture, I've got the athlete for, and then football, mostly basketball, some baseball. I've got the athlete for a couple of hours to do this. So it has to go quickly. I hope I'm explaining that. It has to, the athlete's time is worth money. So I want to get it done as quickly as I possibly can. So they would schedule me like 80 photos in 3 or 4 hours. So when they do this, I have to have everything set up. My posing blocks are in the right place, the stool's set in the right place, everything's measured out. The athlete sits 3 feet from the backdrop, whatever my backdrop's going to be, and we make it real easy. My lighting goes 6 feet out. It's got to go 7 feet up, point down at a 45. And I use what they used to call soft lighter umbrellas. So it was an umbrella lighting with a piece that comes around the front to soften it up. Then you have your props. So what I would do is go, and all the forms had to be filled out. See, the people come, they have to fill a form out of who they are. I take a picture, write down where they're at, because remember, it wasn't digital, this was film. Write out what number they are. That goes in, that photo's processed, and the person comes and picks it up, or it's sent to them later, whatever the promotion is. Usually it was an 8 by 10, 11 by 14. Sometimes we did a poster size, 20 inch and 30 inch. But, so everything's got to be set up perfectly, because it's quick. Come in, put the get up, kick it over, stand here, you stand, boom, 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 click, couple different poses, click, boom, kid's gone. So, remember I was saying they had to fill out the slip. Well, there'd be a big long line. So what I would do is the night before, I would sit and highlight where they have to fill out at, pre-number them, so that I could just walk in and go, okay, who's got ticket number 2? 2. Who's got ticket number 5? 5. You're next. You're next. You're next. that was all kind of developed by me and a couple other people. So about the middle of the 80s, a friend of mine contacts me and goes, hey, I need some help doing some commercial portraiture. Now, that's a whole nother family portraiture. What they're doing is they're pre-selling a 10 by 13 or an 8 by 10. Then whatever they buy extra, they donate some of that money to charity. Now, how that works is I fly up to Oregon with him to meet him. They go, look, here's what we're going to do. You're going to shoot families. We're going to give you $2 a family to shoot them. Okay. I ask, well, how are you doing this? Well, we pre-sell the ticket. It's for $5, sometimes $10. Okay, well, $5, $10. Some of those people are going to forget about it and they're not going to come back. So if I'm getting $2 a family, how many people are you scheduling for me a day? Well, he goes, about 20. I said, well, I'm going to need you to schedule 80. I need 80 a day. Because if they're giving you $5 to $10, you're only going to shoot about 55 to 60% of your schedule. Like I said, there's a certain amount that are going to just not, oh, hey, $5, no big deal. So I have to compensate. So that means at 50%, I'm going to have 40. Now, how many days is the shoot? Well, the shoot's going to be 3 days. So you're going to give me 3 days at 80 families a day. And you're going to give me $2 a family. That's correct. Okay. Now I'm getting into the story because the person that contacted me acted like it was an easy thing to do. These are the things you have to think about. So, 80 families a day, 3 days. All right, $2 a family. Gotcha. If you sell more than a $70 average, I go, wow, a $70 average. That means the bags aren't that big. Well, how big are the bags? Well, they get 3 10 by 13s, 4 8 by 10s, 4 5 by 7s, and 16 wallets. Back then, that was about a $400 bag. Well, they're saying 70. If I get over a 70, I get 10% of the shoot. Now we're talking business. So I go, okay. I go try the first shoot. It's a double shoot with another photographer. They bring in a trailer, and we set up in the trailer. He's on this end, and I'm on this end. The people come in, of course. About 40 to 50% of the people showed up. Okay. Now, about $60 a bag was the average between us both. That means no bonus. So we went through that shoot, and I sat and I thought about it for the next one. I go, okay, what am I going to do here? So I go, okay, I'll take another one and try it. So I get one in Coos Bay, Oregon. That's Coos Bay, Oregon. And they give me 4-day shoot, 80 families a day. That's great. I'm by myself. Perfect. I show up. There's no trailer. I go, okay. They go, we're not going to bring a trailer. We're going to give you a storeroom in here. I go look at a storeroom, and the storeroom's, it's good size, but nothing I can do any volume for shooting. I go, hey, why don't you just give me a section on the floor? And they go, well, why, we can't have, just give me a section on the floor. I'll figure something out. So they give me a section on the floor, and I go and buy a bunch of PVC pipe. And I get some cloth, and I have it sewn so the PVC pipe slips in there. And I make curtains, and I make a big long curtain piece, backdrops the back, bring my props in. I set them up just like I do with doing the sports. Put all my props up there, do all my paperwork up front. So when they show up, I bring them in. Now, with 80 families, I'm only going to be able to spend about 5 minutes of family. So I've got 5 minutes to bring a family in that I don't know, become their best friend, make them smile, the parents and the kids, and leave them with a lasting impression that they come back and buy pictures. How am I going to do this? I go back to my hotel room because the shoot's next day. I take my schedule, it's got all the phone numbers on it, and I call all of them for tomorrow. Hey, don't forget about your portrait. Don't forget about your portrait. Don't forget about your portrait. We're going to be at Shopko. We're going to be at, don't forget about your portrait. I get about 80% of them reminded, and they say, yeah, I've physically talked about 80%. The next day, they show up. They start getting in line. Hey, folks, while you're waiting, it's going to be just a couple minutes. If I could just fill out the highlighted areas and then hang on to your ticket, I'll ask you for it when I come back. I take the first family in. I put 2 stools down. I set Mom in the front one, and on those posing blocks I was talking about, I'll slide the small one over. Mom, can you have a seat right there and put your feet on that block? I'll have Dad come up to the second stool. Dad, can I have you straddle this like you're riding a Harley Davidson and scoot up there real close, sir, but no pinching or biting, please, sir. Then I'll take the assorted posing blocks I have to put the kids on. So I'll take one, put in the back so the kids higher, and I'll bring them down in it so they make a triangle. So Mom and Dad, they make a triangle like this. Now you get going. I tell Mom and Dad, you look right here at the camera. Or if you have to, look up here at me. Don't worry about the kids. I'll get the kids. You just worry about looking at me. Now, I've learned something early in my career that if I make the kids laugh, Mom and Dad will smile every time. The other thing I learned is too is no matter what you do, fix something on Mom. Straighten the necklace out, pick a piece of lint off, something. Even if it's not there, do it anyways. Because then they feel like you're paying attention to them. You got to go and remember, I'm only going to spend about 5 minutes. So, Mom and Dad, kids, look at my nose. You guys get back here, look at my nose. Look right up here at my nose. Mom and Dad, look right at my nose. Hey, George, look at my big nose. Say 1, say 2, say we love each other. 1. Say 1, say 2, say we never fight. Click 2, there's 2. Mom and Dad, you stay right there. Hey, you kids, come over here and stand right over here for me. Now I've got Mom and Dad sitting there. Rearrange them in a different pose a little bit. Because when's the last time they had a picture of themselves taken? Again, Mom, turn your head a little bit. Look right here at my big nose. Say 1, say 2, say more kids. Boom. Say money, honey, whatever. Boom. 2 pictures of Mom and Dad. Okay, Mom, Dad, you come out, take the oldest kid, set him down, take the youngest kid, put him on the tallest block and back, take the other kid, stand him on the floor right here. Because besides school pictures, when have they had pictures of all of them together? You guys look up here, say one, say two, say Dad's wearing Batman underwear. Boom. So say one, say two, say we never fight. Click. Purple pizza. Moose poop is a good one. And boom. That's done, they're done. Grab a hold of the paper. Mom and Dad, when you come back to see the pictures, because remember, this is before digital, this is when we still had film. I couldn't look at the back of the camera. When you're going to come back here on this date, take the tag off, hand it back to them. I want you to come back and I want you to buy all the pictures. They laugh, I laugh. No, really, when you come back, there's going to be 8x10s, 5x7s, wallets, a whole bunch of them to choose from. You can take just the one you paid for, or you can buy them all. My goal is for that family to say, that guy's a good photographer. That's all I need to get them to do is just say, that guy's a good photographer. Remember, I'm going to do that roughly 80 times a day, every day. Now, you say 80 times a day, but I only get 50% of my things, okay? Let's say the first day I only shoot 40 families. That night, when I get back, I go to eat dinner. While I'm eating dinner, I'm filling out the next day's paperwork, numbering the tickets. It's all taken care of. I can't call past 8 o'clock. I get back to my hotel room about 6:30. Call all my 80 for the next day and go back over the ones that missed because I've checked them off. And call them and go, hey, I hear you've missed you're in. Okay, we're still going to be here today. Why don't you come back in about the same time? Boom, they come in. No, they don't come in, but I try to get them in. The next day shows up. Now I'm triple booked. Same thing. All I want to do is get them to say, you're a good photographer. That's the best photographer I've ever been around. Okay. So, the 4 days is over. I've shot roughly 80 families a day. The last day, I'm grabbing anybody. Hey, you guys want your picture taken? Because remember, $2 a family, $2 a sitting. Get that all balled up. What I've successfully done is that I've pre-sold them. Hey, when you come back on this day, we're going to have a ton of pictures. Come back and buy them all. They're going to remember that. If they had a good time with me, they're going to remember that. Mom's going to have a good time because that's really who I have to. Men don't buy pictures. Mom's really who I have to cater to. But I paid attention. I fixed her necklace. Oh, yeah, he was good. They come back a week later. They're already prepped. They're ready to buy. They've got money in their hand. They come back and they buy. Generally, I could run about a $95 to $120 average, so I would always get my bonus. I had a buddy of mine, the one that called me. Him and I would shoot together a lot of times. And we would run to the shoots, make them double shoots. And we would go together. We call these suicide missions because we were single. We drank. And we partied. And we never had any money. But we learned some major skills. Like happy hour. Over the years of going and shooting at all these places, Spokane, Coos Bay, Orange County, Sacramento, Beaverton, Ogden, Utah, Salt Lake, Buffalo, New York. We knew where all the good happy hours were. So when we got off and we would go for dinner, we could go in and buy a beer and maybe El Choritos would have tacos every Tuesday. Then the next night, we'd go over here and they would have something else. Every Tuesday, hot wings. So we always had something going on. Now, there's been a couple times when it's been super cold. Back then, the company gave us $75 a night for a room. Now, compared to today, that's nothing. Back then, it was okay. But not all the rooms had microwaves in them and stuff like that. So what we'd do is we'd go to the grocery store and buy canned food. We'd stay at certain places because the lights, they come on, remember, it's about, December, starting getting dark about 4:30. We don't get done till 6. So in the morning, I'd run along and shove these cans of food up in the lights. So 4:30 the lights come on, it heats the can up. Then when we come home, we grab the can. When we couldn't go to happy hour, we grab the cans, open them up, and what was in the can was warm. That's one way. The other way is we'd make friends with the hotels after we've been going there for a couple of years. Hey, Jenny, the manager of Cloud9 Hotel in Spokane. Hey, we're here all week. Why don't you bring the family down? I'll comp you a bag for the free to have for Christmas. Cost you nothing. Well, so then at the end of the 4-day stay, she would go, "Oh no, I lost your receipt." Being nice. I go, "Hey, can you make me a new one?" She goes, "You don't understand. I lost your receipt." I said, "You don't understand. They give me $75 a night in a hotel. I pay for that. Then they reimburse me that, only if I have a receipt." So she would make me a receipt. She'd get the pictures for free. Then I'd comp that back. Make sense? So after years of doing this with my buddy Terry, we had a bunch of hotels that we would do this with. They were into it. They would look forward to us coming. They would comp us the room. We would get the receipt. That's just how you made it.